like, depending on which version of them turns up tonight and today, we're going to have a real cracker. Getting right on into it, though. Curious Minds is the map to start everything off, and spawning over in the top left-hand side, representing Team Envy, it is Maru.
In the bottom right-hand corner from ENT Esports, looking to go back-to-back in the season finals, it is Serral.
Because, yeah, I mean, I've seen series where Serral also stomps Maru, you know, and it doesn't really look close. Like, they're both very momentum-based players, it feels like. But yeah, that Maru series from Asus ROG, and the fact that Maru went on to win that whole thing by beating Rogue and whatever, and he did it super damn cleanly, right? Like, he was the best player of the tournament by far. Now, Serral has obviously been doing ridiculously well recently, you know, finally winning the DreamHack's EU section of the tournament, and just seems back in total tip-top form. But yeah, going up against Maru, there's pretty much nobody that plays like Maru does, because Clem, he's super quick like Maru, like he really is, and maybe his bailing sniping might be even better than Maru's, but when it comes to where do they end up, Maru's the kind of guy that really can go all the way. The nukes late game, the Liberators, bringing out the Thors as well. Like, he's just as good at late game, if not better than any other Terran out there.
Yeah, his late game is absolutely magnificent. We're starting Curious Minds. I love this map. I think it's very different, and it's got that kind of weird kind of combination. Like, it's very small, but it's very open. And so it's not great for Zerg, but it's not terrible for Zerg, right? It's definitely, I think, a little bit Terran favored. The size is always going to come into play, but Zergs have options to work around it. And I feel like this map has just given us a lot of continuously very good games.
It's got a bit of a light, shady feel to me, the layout, like it being very open on that third and stuff. And Wardy, he's going for a 2-1-1 again.
He is going for a 2-1-1. Maybe he's just like, Serral, you can't even hold off my Marines.
By the way, this 2-1-1's really weird too, because he hasn't even started his second depot yet. Okay, now he does. I mean, very, very quick second barracks, which, you know, is pretty standard. Funny that it was going for the block on the forward third, as opposed to the one more defensively placed, but, I mean, it's Maru. I'm never going to question anything this man does.
Maybe just, it is kind of interesting, maybe just likes the tank's positions on that right side more. I mean, I feel like the tank position on the left side is a little bit better, but, you know, maybe just has something which he's thinking about for later on in this game, of course, as this Reaper taps along a few of those Zerglings, just dealing a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. The Reaper goes up the ramp, and the hatchery is going down, of course, and we continue through for the moment with that factory starting up, and we are taking steps towards our 2-1-1 being in full swing.
Yeah, and for people wondering, why did 2-1-1 go out of fashion? Zerg's just got so good at dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like, you can have the right number of queens out. Queens had a little bit of a range buff to deal with the medevacs better. They started making way more queens in general. And 2-on-1, you just got nothing done. You started behind, basically. But Maru, and there's other Terrans out there that have kind of brought it back now and then, but Maru just does things with it. So we're really going to be looking at what he does to get into this. And Serral right now, he doesn't know what he's up against, but he hasn't seen any Hellions on the map, which might start being a bit indicative of what's going on.
Yeah, at some point you start making assumptions based on what you don't see and what isn't happening in the game. So yeah, at some point you're probably thinking, probably a lot of Marines. Now, the only thing I would say about that is there have been a few kind of 3-racks builds in TVZ lately, which was never a thing, and that's kind of cool as he gets a Crypt Tumor here, Maru. It's kind of cool just because it's something which kind of makes the 2-1-1 a little better, because you're not 100% sure what exact variation of Marine-based opening you're up against, and each of those have different responses sometimes. As 2 Marines reveal themselves, that Ling gets shut down. Maru brings now the rest of his Marines to the low ground. We just wait for that starport to finish up, swap on over to the reactor, and we're going to be flying across the map here as Serral continuing with the Queens, getting a few more Lings up and running, and just getting Overlords ready because he can keep on pumping out units on 41 drones at the moment. Usually, Zergs can get a little bit higher than that on the drone count before they need to really defend this.
Yeah, they definitely can, and now Serral gets confirmation. I think I just saw him do a big swallow as well in his webcam. It was like, oh, this again? Like, I remember this last time. And yeah, Serral knows now what he's up against for sure. What's the Queen count? Because he's been producing them non-stop 3 at a time, so 6, soon to be 9. I mean, that's a real fierce number of Queens to deal with.
Yeah, it's a lot of Queens, a lot of potential transfusions, if they can survive long enough to get that energy up and running. So a lot to be worried about here. Is Maru going to have his first 2 medevacs popping? The combat shield is now starting up as well. He will have a 3rd CC, so there's a follow-up behind this, and it's not the latest of 3rd CCs when you consider the 2-1-1.
No, and okay, there's a few things here. I love that Serral started killing those rocks there at the top, because that screams to me that getting a little tank in that nook at the top left of it could be nice. But he's actually going for a Widowmine follow-up. Like, so it's going to be some Marines, a Widowmine drop, and getting very fast combo shields, so not the super fast tanks with this.
Yeah, Maru trying to drop straight to the main. This is something a few Terrans have done with 2-on-1 lately, rather than like going for the creep and so on. Just going for the main, and it can be very dangerous because you're forced in a fight where the queens are not, your units aren't there. But of course, this time Serral had a couple of lings in position. He just stops the unload right away, and that is massive as Maru already pulling those medevacs back. He does not want to let them take any damage to the queens here.
No, he does not. And there will be a third medevac on the way fairly shortly, I do believe. And yes, there it starts up. Now, 6 extra Marines, and Combat Shield finishes up as well, and an extra Widowmine. That makes this push actually really scary. And we do see the Armory finishing up now for Maru, along with the second factory. That's before engineering bays and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Super quick transition into Widowmine drops with this, so absolutely delaying upgrades.
Yep, just going to go Widowmine drop after Widowmine drop here as he collects his units up on the high ground. It feels like Serral doesn't have a whole bunch of anything. There's no upgrades, there's no Baneling speed or anything, right? I mean, this push is scary, and he is going to have to rely heavily on those queens as we, for the moment, just come through, get rid of a couple creep teamers. Maru's still being so conservative with these units.
I gotta say, like, even though Maru's doing a lot of cool stuff this game, I think Serral's respecting it a lot, but rightfully so. Like, the creep spread's still trying to get out there. He's still being on the map a little bit. I feel he's done a good job of not letting this hinder him in any way. Although, this is a nice little cancel and map maneuvering by Maru.
Yeah, keeping the 4th base from going up, the more that happens, the better it's going to be. And generally, like I say, that left side base is a really good position to take on the high ground there, push down into that, so something to watch out for. Big counterattack here from Serral now. Which way does he try and escape? He is going to go through the bottom. I was going to say, if he comes through the right side, these Marines are going to be lying in wait, so you've got to be careful with where you're escaping. First Widowmine drop loading up, and let's see what Serral's defense will be like against this. I believe he's got a cluster of queens up the top, though, so he needs to be careful with this medevac. Doesn't want to fly it into all of those.
This Widowmine drop is so damn quick with Drilling Claws. Like, we're 7 minutes into the game, a 2-on-1 with this, and he's got a 3rd base and stuff. Now he's going back into tanks and Widowmines, which I think that is really cool and hard to play against, because, oh, Widowmine drop, I'll stop what I was saying. 4 drones going down this far. Not the end of it, though, and there's no spores in places.
Yep, no spores around, so it's going to get a little bit complicated. One more Widowmine still alive, so you can force one more drone pull here as we go into the main base. There is a spore here. That Widowmine's just going to get a couple more drones, and then it might even still make it back to the medevac for a moment or two at some point. This Widowmine, no, buddy, that's not where you want to be. He actually put himself in range of the spine there, unfortunately, so that one will not go as well. As, yeah, 7 drones, still not a bad start, right? 7 drones is decent damage, and Maru's on a higher work account than Serral.
Yeah, for the time being, Serral did start up quite a lot of extra drones, but these Widowmines, they're not going to stop, and 3 extra barracks on the way. Like, I know he's been stuck on 2 for a while, so it's not as if he's going up to 8 or anything, but Maru's going to start piling on the pressure here, and it's not going to stop.
Yep, he's going to find himself an Overlord Spore Crawler. He knows the damage he can get done here. He actually doesn't finish that Overlord, as he will look to lift and start getting out of this. There are queens on the low ground to be worried about as well, though. And just as one medevac leaves, another comes in. That Widowmine drop setting up to hit this main mineral line. So Serral has to keep on top of this, and he might not have noticed this in full. There is the pull, but it's a little slower. 4, 6 drones, and there's still one Widowmine shot left to go. Counterattack of Banelings will actually not even kill those couple Widowmines in the front line. I feel as though Serral is actually taking a lot of damage and not doing much himself. These Lings are here, though, and Maru doesn't have any units nearby. He's got units on the low ground, but this was a very slow response. He has been killing more drones, but it's a lot of SCVs going down as Serral is going to finally punch back.
Yeah, it's what Serral needed, man. Like, look at that work account, 59 to 53 in favor of the Terran. Super weird situation here, and you can just see that Maru's slightly unorthodox build really kind of throws you off on how you want to play a game, and I feel that's the little advantage that Maru has when he goes up against Serral at this point in time, until Serral can truly read the kind of Terran he's up against.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. Like you say, it's unorthodox, it's completely different to the norm. He has got later upgrades, remember, right? So that's maybe a little bit of something that Serral can take advantage of at one point, as right now these drops have been so good, consistently being on the map as well. And at no point have these drops ever been like super overly committed anywhere either. He's not lost any in silly ways, I would say, so it's just been very good control in that regard from Maru. Serral getting up to the Hydras, though, and that obviously is going to sturdy his main force.
Yeah, and he has established his 4th base now, trying to get his 5th as well. And the fact that he's going to hit 2-2 pretty damn soon, that does allow him a bit of a window and a bit of breathing room as well. That's
That's a nice scout.
Yeah, do you think he's just going to load winter mines on it? Like one by one, let them blow up?
That would actually be fine.
Yeah, it would be actually value, I think. Like 3 banelings for 1 winter mine, I think it is at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not going to do it. But he did see it, I do believe, in this drop. Yeah, not going to let any of his Marines die here. Does get vision of the Hydras, though, so he does most likely know it will be heading into lurkers.
Here comes this Widow Mine drop down the right-hand side. The Queens are immediately here this time, and only 1 Widow Mine unloads, and it doesn't even get to burrow. That is the kind of shutdown we need to be seeing from Serral. Just minimize some of these worker losses, minimize what Maru can get done. This Widow Mine retargets a whole bunch, and it's a massive connection. Serral kind of ran back and forward, but then at one point he just stopped having the units moving out of the way, so the retargeting stopped.
By the way, the tanks behind the Widow Mines is actually so damn hard for Zerg to deal with, because normally when you're sending that 1 Ling or splitting it off, like these tanks will just shoot them. So you can't do that anymore. Like, it's actually a really cute setup. He's already getting Vikings out as well, which that is super curious to me. Is he already thinking that Vipers are going to come? But you can see that his game plan here, now he's turtling.
Yeah.
So cool.
He's just ready for late game. I was like, oh, 4 bases? Cool, I take this a late game from here. I just play efficiently and we just go. And that is kind of very akin to how Maru likes to play a lot of the time. These Marines really ran down here to try and get something done. Finally, the Lings are there. And this is going to be a turnaround. He's going to lose 1 medevac. No, it gets away with 6 Marines inside. Nice save. Somehow still alive as it gets off creep. Maru can get it home, repair. How have none of these Hydras got that medevac, man?
I have no idea. Big upgrades on the way for both of them, though. Like, oh, that's a good catch from Serral. Slows down everything at that bottom portion of the map. But Adrenal Glands on the way, +3 armor. Vipers and Lurkaden almost finished as well. Like, Serral, he's done a real damn good job of, even though he's been taking punches, he doesn't look like a man that's took any punches at this point. Like, he's actually hitting real damn late game too. This is great. This is exactly the kind of game I wanted between these two.
I'm genuinely surprised about just the worker count being so heavily in Maru's favor. I mean, the income advantage has been in his favor for like 5 minutes or so. That's not something you usually see in TVZ. So I thought Serral was going to be looking worse off, and okay, he doesn't have much of a bank yet, and he's still got some upgrades to maybe invest into, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, considering that, I think Serral's doing really, really well. The night is coming up, so he can start to put some extra harassment on the map as well. He wants to get into Maru's bases. He wants to have a chance to deal some damage.
This is so difficult, though. Like, in fact, maybe this is really good for Serral. Serral does play with Spirit a lot, that we formerly know as Soul, and he tends to play the late game before, well, he starts playing the late game right from minute 1, basically, with all the extra command centers. But the way that Maru's playing right now, this can frustrate you a little bit, but he's actually done it really well, I feel, because what's this ghost count at? It's already pretty high. 9, 5 tanks, 12 Widow Mines on the field as well. It's a scary Terran army to go up against.
It just doesn't feel as though Serral has any way to attack into Maru. And because this map kind of works on only 6 bases each, it kind of pushes the Zerg into a bit of pressure, because if you can't kill the Terran, he's going to eventually mine out just as much as you do. And that's why I do like that Serral's taking the bottom left base already. Try and take some resources away from Maru's later on mining bases.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like, Maru's choosing to Oxide this map, right?
Yeah.
Where it is 6 maps, you can split it out, then it's about trading efficiently. And this army of the Terran player does trade damn well, getting up to +2 on the tanks as well, multiple tanks being produced, second armory being produced as well for the upgrades. I wonder if this is it for him, though, if this is his end game composition. Because with Maru, you never know, man. Like, maybe Liberators will come out eventually and stuff, too, when he needs them. But right now, he's just so patient.
Yeah. He's just not doing anything at all. As he does find a couple of Queens here, Serral just misrallying in as he wants to fix up some creep. That knight is in range of this tank, so that's going to be an easy defense for Maru. Doesn't have to worry too much about it, as he is loading up more medevacs and just going to go dropping around. Do you think that may be what the Vikings are for? Hold that thought, because here he goes. Serral's going to be the one to commit into an attack here. Doesn't want to get Maru onto a 5th base. These Banelings are running through. Tanks just now sieging. Let's see what the splash damage can get done, as this is a choke point that these Banes are rolling into as well. They hit a lot of tanks and just not a lot of the bio, but Maru's supply dips heavily.
It certainly does. If you're talking about the Viking, was it meant for denying overlords and stuff into his bases for the Nidus?
Yeah.
Maybe, because he just got one of them. But yeah, we'll see. 8 SCVs at a time, by the way, for Maru. Like, that just shows how many extra orbitals he has on the map. But I think Serral, dealing that blow, he can remax faster on any army that he wants. And maybe he just wants to keep up the tempo. Maru's about to hit 3-3, though.
Yeah, 3-3 is going to be great. No melee upgrade here for Serral, and he also doesn't have any further missile upgrades than the +1, so something to keep in mind. The planetary topside probably goes down. That's replaceable for Maru. As long as he gets a decent trade off the rest of the units here, you can see this clump of ghosts just running from those Banelings. He does not want to lose all those, and in the end he will not, and he even has a tank firing as Serral backs away. Serral is rebuilding too, right? 90 Zerglings on the way. These fights, they're going okay though for Serral overall. When you look at what's being lost in them, he is absolutely trading well, and Maru is just not having enough splash and enough control of these engagements in the slightest.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He doesn't have enough splash, man. Like, a lot of his Widow Mines felt like they got picked off. He is moving into Liberators now, Widow Mines and tanks, and he's getting decent upgrades on them. Does pick off this bottom left base, though, if it does become the split map jobby. What's the resources lost tab for gas? That's the thing that I'm looking at. Or pretty damn close. Like, Serral actually not trading too bad, considering he's the one that's been running into Maru.
Yeah, no, his trades have been very, very good. I think that's, usually by now you would not be surprised if the Zerg was like 5 to 8,000 resources lost behind. It's a 2k difference. So it's a completely different situation as our bio will just clean up some creep up over here. And Maru needs to slowly figure out how he's going to get off of this 4 base setup up to the 5 bases comfortably, because if he can't do that, well, Serral's just going to mine off 6 bases and he will absolutely overwhelm him.
It feels like even though I like the ghost transition, it feels like Serral was like, oh, you've already got ghosts, I'm not going to go lurkers.
Yeah, it was too soon.
Yeah, almost too soon, and he's still making a lot of them. I feel that's not necessarily what he needs right now, but Serral's going to go for it, man.
Yeah, in we go. Bane's just going to come in from every which angle. Let's see if the ghost can survive yet again. This orbital has to lift up. Then watching this group of ghosts that just cloaked in the back left. They are continuing to run. This time, Serral does lose a lot of supply, hasn't rebuilt as quickly as he did before. And it is once again going to be a little swell of Zerglings. He has 52 lava, so it is just a case of figuring out what he wants. As Maru again is trading worse than Serral. Serral is doing much better in these fights than Maru is, and I really do think the ghost count is a little bit too high versus Lingbane Hydra. You've got nothing to gain from those ghosts. They're just constantly running because he doesn't want to lose them. But what good does that do you if you're not getting any value out of them at all? Like, I would have liked 3 or 4 ghosts. You zone the Vipers out, maybe you've got a couple snipes if lurkers are out. But if he keeps building Lingbane Hydra, you just cut there, get more splash damage out, more bio, and just units that are easier to trade with, and that in this situation would have been better off. Let's see what this Widow Mine does. Not much to start us off here. EMPs do go on the Vipers. As this time around, I feel like this fight's a little bit better for Maru because he's not running, he's turning and fighting. Yeah,
this fight was much better for the Terran player, and if we can get a battle report of just that situation there, that was a much better trade. You see there, mass resources lost for Serral and not really so much for Maru. That might be the little bit of breathing room that he needed to get truly set up here, because that's multiple PFs at the top of the map. In fact, multiple PFs across the map.
I actually think that this was the problem, right? It was just a weak point for Maru. He couldn't quite take that position, but now he's had one fight there that lets him keep set up. It's going to be so much more difficult for Serral to do something, and immediately Serral is not looking at that position again. He's pulling back and saying, right, time to go elsewhere. Your setup over there is too good. Maybe let's look over here. That's difficult. The one entry to that left side base is very choked up. There is a Nidus going into the main base, by the way. Let's see if that's going to go up. Nope, there's a Marauder on it, and a Siege Tank too. So once again, Maru playing very well against this potential pressure, as this first Widow Mine shot will do decently. Let's see if Maru can get everything else over to the left-hand side, as right now that Planetary just holds the wall, and another decent hold for Maru.
Big Daddy PF coming in very handy there, and Wardy nukes coming down for those ghosts as well. And plus, these are 3-3 tanks as well. Like, those are some meaty boys. Like, they absolutely obliterate if they can get their shots off. And Serral's window of just being, like, super dominant on this map, and I thought at one point maybe he's tipping Maru over. It's vanished all of a sudden.
I'd love to see a Sense Tower, like, a little bit further forward, like in the center, because it's very difficult for Serral to get there, right? I feel like maybe you could just see some of these movements a little bit better, just something to maybe think about using this high ground here for a beautiful trade. The tanks once again delivering, and again, you just want to stop Serral mining off this base because, again, this is meant to be your base. If Serral mines from it, that's going to be very, very good for him.
My goodness.
But these lungs again massacred. I mean, Serral is losing a lot, and this time Maru loses barely anything. And these are the trades and the fights. I mean, it's now a 6,000 resource loss difference, and that's just happened across the last 2.5 fights.
Absolutely. Some nice yoinks there by Serral. Does pick off a ghost and a tank, I do believe. But now, Serral isn't trading as good anymore. I mean, it's not bad for him. And okay, finally getting that switch into lurkers going. What's the tank count and ghost count at? 12 ghosts, 10 tanks, 4 libs.
I don't like it, right? Like, I don't like the lurkers now. It's like he's so well set up against them, but then what else do? You're kind of forced to go into them because the Lingbane Hydra's not working anymore. But I just don't think the lurkers are necessarily the answer either. I feel like it's a really tough position because Maru's been playing for this the entire game, so his setup is freaking brilliant.
Yeah, that clip where Serral's like, I played for the late game, but he died. Well, this is truly getting late game here. And there's a ghost here, is spotted by the Queen.
Oh, the lurkers.
That's a spine up his ass right there. And he did
It was, wasn't it?
drop pretty damn fast. The Thor is funny, right? Like, he made a Thor. I don't know if he was expecting Broodlords to be the transition of choice, because that Thor, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well...
I don't know what it does.
No, me neither. Maybe a little pop shot at the Vipers.
Yeah. A little bit, like if the Ling Bane runs in, you just have a Thor to try and soak the Banes a little bit. Not the craziest of situations, I suppose, is Serral is really fighting to retake this base, which is, again, arguably meant to be Maru's, as he's going to try and dive here. Widowmine was not too crazy. A little abduct on a medevac as well, and Maru's just having to make those minor repositions to keep Serral at bay.
And by the way, I've loved this positioning from Maru on this left side.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about having tanks on that high ground there just to do it, but Maru's making it look like, yeah, of course you play like this. And I see it, and now I'm like, of course. He makes StarCraft look simple. Serral is going for the 2 Spires here, so the inevitable air switch at some point to try and get something done, because right now, what he has, he can't crack what Maru has.
Yeah, he just can't quite break through. He definitely needs something that little bit extra. I mean, he needs to keep on contesting this bottom left base, but recently it feels as though that has been so expensive for him. Definitely a part of the problem. We're going to get advanced ballistics for the libs, so you can just reach a little bit further forward with those as well. Zone even better than he's already been doing. I would like to see just a little bit more love to that top right side from Maru, right? Just clean up some of the creep there a little bit more, maybe a group of Marines. Just try and hit that base and take Serral's attention there a little bit, because that is just had no focus on it at all, so maybe that could be a weak point. But now Serral is looking to move further forward here, as Maru is just like planetary fortress pushing. Literally, right? Like,
yeah. And you know what? I like it.
Yeah.
I like it quite a lot.
He's going to get the bottom left now. Maybe not right now, but like in the near future. At this rate, I mean, these lurkers are starting to get separated from everything else as well. We're going to nuke to make sure that they will fall back. And here comes a little bit of a fight from Serral as he wants to stop this position from being set up. There are so many ghosts, but they run forward into a Baneling or 2. This one's a little bit messier again for Maru as the other tanks coming into play, getting back to this planetary. He lost a lot of siege tanks here initially. A Liberator out of position, gets caught as well. The ghosts are looking for a cleanup on the end of this, though, sniping down a bunch of queens, and they will get some final kills. As this, I mean, it had to be broken, because if you don't break this position as Serral, planetaries go up and you completely lose the bottom left corner of the map.
Yeah, and like one big thing, remember, Serral right now, he's mining out a base of Maru's, which, if you think about it, 6 base versus 6 base situation overall, then it turns into 5 versus 7. Every base that you take from your opponent, not only is it 1 extra for you, obviously, it's 1 less for your opponent.
Yep, absolutely. As you're going to see, these ghosts need to kind of get away. This is where it gets dangerous for these ghosts, but I feel like they're in a safe enough spot now. That planetary's been putting in work. How many kills has the planetary got?
53. Oh, you know, just your standard planetary, you know. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Serral's doing a really good job, because even though a lot of this has seemed messy, like, the game plan for him, he's doing it so well. They both know what they want to achieve, which is this bottom left base, and the way they're both going about it, like, Serral's looking damn good.
Yeah, he really is. He's playing it very patiently. He knows what he can and can't do. And he's picking the right times to fight, it feels like. He picks the fights when he knows, I cannot possibly let you get set up this far forward. And those are the moments where Maru is at his weakest as well. So, yeah, Serral looks as though he's going to get ready to go again. Same idea as before. You just can't let this get too set up. He's going to target down a Viper. Both of them go down. A couple of abducts, but at the same time, you've got lurkers that moved up the left-hand side. Again, the ghosts are running back. A couple of new libs are moving forward, but they're going to die before they get to siege, right? And Bane's rolling through. The tank fire is good. Our planetary is just about surviving. It's the ghosts that come through on the retreat as well. And once again, they get a couple of snipes off. All of these fights have been about even. Since I mentioned the 6,000 resources lost, it's been about 6,000 resources lost. And even trades right now, great for Serral, who's mining the bottom left.
Yeah, that fight actually, I felt that Maru kind of mishandled it a little bit. It felt like he was not prepared at all, which is a bit surprising, because this game has just been constantly Serral pouncing on him. And again here, I mean, Serral's just got too much, man. There is a nuke going off and does hit a few lurkers down there in the bottom. Big Daddy PF coming in handy, and yet again, still living. 78 kills now, just climbing. Okay, that fight was a lot better for Maru, but Look at the supplies. Look at the banks, most importantly.
Yeah, Serral just has so much money, and Maru, he's just not got as many workers to work with here, and that's why his bank just isn't as large. He's not been mining out of his bases as quickly, but he is also getting to the point now where he is actually running out of money, so he really desperately needs the bottom left. He's made attempt after attempt to get the bottom left-hand side, so not getting it. He's running into more and more trouble. A couple of Marauders trying to get rid of this and just try and keep that pace from mining out too much further. I mean, even if he gets it, which he will, Serral has the freedom to just take it back again. And Maru's army supply, his setup here is just not what it once used to be.
I actually really like the Lurkers now. Because he's got so much gas. And obviously those Lurkers from the Hydras. I don't know how many Liberators are still alive, but as long as you keep on yoiking them and have enough Hydras in the mix, you're going to be fine. And I think getting rid of that gas bank as well is quite important, and just making sure the ghost energy stays low for these kind of situations as well.
A little parasitic bomb goes off, Medevac taking damage. Here we go with the Lingbane Lurker moving through. This time there's surely going to be too much for Serral. Maru's supply below 100 for the first time. And I mean, he wanted a game like this, and Serral just really controlled it so beautifully. It was really well worked from Serral, really well handled. I mean, Maru, like I say, he definitely had some cool moments, knew what he wanted to do, but Serral really just stopped him.
And that's the thing, Wardy. Like, Serral, he endured the early game, the weird game, you know, the fast-witted mind drops, and he took a bit of damage, but Serral handles late game better than any other Zerg out there. Like, I really feel that way. And even though this right now isn't that pretty, actually, for him, and Maru, this doesn't look like a 90 supply Terran against 190 supply, because the Terran's kind of bullying him around a little bit, but I think Serral's done himself so good this game.
I really feel like Maru needed to adjust to the fact he did so well as he drops Mule's bottom left. I really feel like Maru needed to adjust to the fact he did so well early game, right? And say, right, yeah, I'm in a good position to go late game, but I'm also in a fab position to keep up the pressure and keep on attacking. He really did not do that when he had a better work account for a long time, and just the advantages early on, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity, and let Serral get back into this. Here Serral comes from all sides, full surround as he moves on through. He's going to start sieging up on top of siege tanks, past the Liberators. The Viper Squadron shows up with a couple of Abducts to help out, and there really is just not a lot of Terran left over. These mules are going down, and there's the GG. Serral just has a little bit too much and is able to take this first map of the series.
Really cool game, actually. Like, it's kind of exactly what I wanted to see out of both of them both playing a late game situation. It wasn't the late game situation I thought it was going to be, though. Like, you're totally right. That top right base of Serral, Maru put no prep. Like, there was one nuke attempt, right? That was it. I feel that as soon as you start letting the Zerg be comfortable and do whatever he wants to do, you're in trouble. Because, like, if he's kept on attacking, I know he put a lot of focus on that bottom left base, as he should have, but yeah, it just felt like Serral just got into his groove and never sweated, actually.
It just feels like he took the top right and the bottom left, and yes, you attacked the bottom left, but the power of the Terran in that situation is meant to be he's playing opposite corners of the map. That's the most drawn out he can ever be, and you never drew him out. And that's fine when it's like, okay, I'm slow pushing, I'm slowly setting up, but when that doesn't work, you look a little bit silly for not having gone to the other side of the map, where there was nothing on that base for a long time, like a spine, a spore. Even just 8 Marines could have been deadly a whole bunch of the time. Even like right now, I know he's so busy dealing with this, but get that bottom left already, you know, just something, one medevac or so. I really feel like that was a lost opportunity because it was just so quick for Serral to suddenly say, yes, I'm taking both those bases, both these corners.
It felt like the tanks, even though they were max upgraded, they were just getting slaughtered every fight. And then he could never get the, critical mass of tanks going to really defend against like the onslaught of Serral. But one thing also, and we talked about it a little bit, maybe the transition to Ghost was way too soon.
I think it was, yeah.
Like, if you think, because I was looking back at a few of those situations, you use like 66 SFVs to 60 drones, like, you would see Clem in that situation, and he just keeps on going. That's when he goes to gear 6, you know, like he just goes all the way, keeps on pouncing on his opponent. And even though I did like the idea of playing Turtley when Lurkers come, because that's when you have to shift tempo a bit, you can't keep attacking into, he started playing Turtley before the Lurkers even were a thing, and it was, maybe a little bit misjudged by Maru.
Can you imagine you take away those ghosts and you add in, like I say, more bio, just a few more mines or something?
Tanks.
Yeah, anything that's going to help with the flood of Lingbane Hydra. there was like 4 fights in a row where the best thing the Ghost did was run away and not die. And that's kind of not what it's meant to be. And yeah, eventually they got some good snipes off, but it just wasn't worth all the time they'd spent running previously. In the bottom left of Hardwire, our red Zerg player here from NC Esports is Serral.
And spawning over in the top right, it is Maru. I'm really impressed with Serral, actually, because he really is showcasing that even though you might deal damage to him early on, once he gets to that late game, like, his control and decision-making really is second to none. Like, he's very good at it, and I was giving Maru a lot of credit that game for just making it a little bit weird, a little bit offbeat. He was doing everything pretty damn good. But yeah, Serral, he started to get a hold of it. And I think it all started with when he stopped that Widowmine drop in the top right, and then Maru just stopped, you know? He's like, no, never again.
Yeah, no, I think the comparison to Clem is perfect because that's a game Clem wins 100%. Like, up in Workers, like, because then you never get ahead in Workers as the Zerg, and then you're just in trouble all of the time. So yeah, it's but I mean, at the same time, that's how Maru plays as well, so it's like you don't want to doubt him in doing so. It's just, if Serral can then play against it, then you need to switch it up, so we'll see what he does this time.
And it's always difficult, like, these two going up against each other, because they can both come up with stuff, and then on the day it's like, okay, I'm 3-0ing you, and then it's like, next week, oh, I'm 3-0ing you now, and some things that you do in practice, no matter how many Zergs Maru runs into, maybe they all get a bit flummoxed against him doing that kind of stuff, because nobody else really does it, right? Whereas Serral, who's just so calm about being like, oh, well, okay, even though I got the Lurker Den ready, I'm not going to make anything. I'm just going to keep attacking you with Lingbane Hydra and Vipers and do it really well. So I have no idea what their practice looked like, but that can be the one game where Maru's like, aha, that's what you can do against that. Okay, might have to do some alterations, but they're going to be learning a lot about each other as this series progresses.
Yeah, it's always fascinating. You know, game by game, it changes so much with these two because they're both capable of adapting as the series goes on. Maps are different, they know that as well. This map is absolutely better for Serral. If it ends up in that late game situation, you can expand left or right. You've got a lot more bases to work with. This is a game where I'd love to see Maru, if he gets into a similar situation, to actually just turn up the tempo 100% and just go, go, go. Don't let it go late because it's going to be tough to work the Zerg down from all those bases.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love these cheeky little Widow Mines that Maru's been, or not Widow Mines, grenades that he's been doing into mineral lines just to offset the workers a little bit whenever he can. He was doing it quite a bit against Nice. This time around, we have a far more normal build from Maru. It is the 3cc on 1 gas play, which, yeah, this is about as greedy and safe as it gets, but it's definitely become one of the true meta builds in TVZ.
Yep, just get that eco up and rolling. You can do a lot of different things from there as well, so you're just powerful. Your economy is good, you don't need to feel pressure to do as much damage, and yet you still end up with units to put a bit of pressure on as well, so definitely nice, definitely strong, and meta for a reason as our Reaper. Just trying to pick up some further info, not much to be gained, maybe a little peek at the gases there, but yeah, there's not much to be going on for Serral anyway.
Yeah, I think that gas scout was actually kind of cool. Like, you've seen one drone on it, then you can be like, okay, I'm not having any roaches come across the map. And then he's like, all right, what is the... Well, if he goes Viking and then into Liberator, which is a very, very cool build, against any sort of roach push, you're in a lot of trouble. So just that little bit of scout before making that decision, it's the little things, man. Like, you talked about it earlier. Like, StarCraft 2, it's a game of incomplete information. You have to fill in the blanks wherever you can, and you do your best. Oh, Viking Marauder. You think it's going to be the concussive shell... medevac drop as well afterwards?
Yeah, I think it has to be, right? Because what else would you really be looking to do here is Serral is trying to scout. He sees a 3rd CC, so initially he thinks, okay, well, no immediate pressure, as that Overlord going down is going to supply block Serral just a few moments. There's the concussive shells, and yeah, you drop an armory with this oftentimes as well, go Hellbats, but not even that necessary. Just Hellion Marauder on its own can be freaking scary.
Definitely, definitely. Like, the Marauders with the medevacs can actually kind of go toe-to-toe with Queens a little bit in a weird way. And then you can't wrap around them because the Hellions are there. Will be an armory, a late armory though.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's maybe a little bit mistimed here, but yeah, this is definitely a funky build. Like, people were doing this kind of thing in TVT, off 2cc obviously. And, you know, it did a lot of damage, caught people off guard with the Raven builds and stuff. But yeah, this one, off 3cc, there's no way Serral's predicting this is what he's doing.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough to read as All these units getting set up and getting ready to go. Just going to see a Creep Tumor going down, and that's a lot of Hellions that are about to morph into Hellbats. Onto Creep we go, and Serral's going to see it, and, well, the Queens line up. They're going to start firing away. Fueling's looking to counterattack, which I don't hate at all, because fighting this right now seems almost ludicrous. It's a lot of Queens, though.
It is, and that Viking taking as much damage as it did, like, he's one of the big damage dealers against those Queens, and, oh, Lone Marauder joins the fray here. Maru isn't all in with this, by the way. Going up to 2 E-base behind this. That poor Viking, man.
Yeah. Ooh, he's going to get a Hellbat here before they're done morphing. Ooh, does miss an initial transfusion, though. Serral now starting to kite backwards. Needs to find the right amount of kiting versus transfusing as he does start to push this back. And good hold with the Queens. I mean, Maru just never really committed. He wants to keep these units alive for a later attack or so.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't talk about this too much. I know Rodan brought it up on the desk, but if you finish first place in this group, and it's like, all right, who do I get? Rogue, Trap, or Zest? There's really only one of those guys that I'm like, Maru's truly favored against, which is Zest, and that isn't a foregone conclusion. I'm not saying any throwing or whatever, but I think this could also be a bit of Maru testing stuff out and seeing how Serral responds to a lot of it, because he's still playing damn well. Neither of them want to lose, but yeah, it's not all doom and gloom if you do end up in second place.
Because you're confident about moving forward, and if you face Serral again, it would be in the grand final, so maybe good to have some info, right? I mean, it seems crazy, but it is kind of a realistic thing to talk about, so kind of interesting as we do just have Maru obviously fully backed away, and Serral is just getting his lair finished. He can start up his Bane speed, his upgrades are looking good. We'll see if he wants to add in anything else off the lair bar that Baneling speed, if he wants to drop down a Hydro Den already, or anything along those lines. For now, we just wait and see.
Yeah, and I mean, if you didn't know what happened early on in this game, you looked at now, you'd be like, oh, totally standard game, right? And it kind of looks like that right now, but this is kind of more the situation we thought we'd see these players in, where it's the Zerg is ahead in drones, not by much, still very reasonable, taking like the 4th base, good creep spread going down. Does he have Drilling Claws ready with that drop, or what was actually in the drop? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's just going to be, it is Widow Mines, just without the claws, so a little bit funky as we make our way down the bottom side, and we'll see, okay, just one Widow Mine going to watch for that base there in the bottom right-hand corner, and then the other 3 will try and do some damage as we scan ahead, and here comes our Widow Mine. Serral is going to have the Spore Crawl to help him put some damage on that Medevac. Mines will burrow, and Serral just no response at all, and that's a mineral line, or a good portion of it. 11 workers down, and that was an odd Baneling.
That was an odd Baneling, and this Widow Mine drop, like, this single Widow Mine drop without Drilling Claws did more damage than all the Drilling Claw Widow Mine drops in the game before, so slow and steady wins the race, 40.
Yeah, that was one where Serral just wasn't really prepared, and look at this all of a sudden. Maru's army supply is way up. Serral is struggling behind a little bit.
No.
I mean, he's in a position where he's getting ready to transition, loses 3 more drones. He's getting ready to transition, but is just not really on a lot of units right now. If Maru started to push, I think Serral will be in a lot of trouble.
I think so. Weird skirmishes happening on both sides of the map. You just got a random group of Hellions over here fighting Bane. The drop of Maru on the left side now, heading for the main base, and this is when he's really going to test how good Serral's multitasking is.
Yep, Serral going to have to deal with that in the main, the push in the center of the map as well. Of course, Maru's army is so large because he never lost anything early, right? So you still got those Hellions, his Hellbats. Serral straight up looking as though this base is just going to go down. Not much you can do about it. Can't get there in time. He will bring the Queens over as we have a couple of Banes connected in here, but there's still units on that high ground as well as, man, these Queens are really just doing their best to chase this down, running through Widow Mines, and kind of Serral losing track of everything.
Oh my god, the Ridge coming in handy as well. Nothing can really shoot that besides the Queen. Oh, actually...
The Hydra. The Reaper gets out, you kidding me? No, don't do it. Okay, he's going to go down. All right, well, we still have 2 Marines there to be dealt with at some stage. And Serral continues to look to defend. Again, a group of units looking around the right side. Serral will have a few short moments here as he sits in range of that 9 good split.
That was cute as hell, actually. Very nicely handled by Serral there, literally last moment. And this game, Maru up to 85 SCVs. Serral just caught up in workers. Serral about to hit 2-2 right before this fight takes place. Maybe he's waiting a little bit, but he's doing a good job of just slowing down Maru quite a bit. Maru hasn't gone for any super transition behind it, just sticking on the bio, the mine, and maybe a couple of tanks here and there. But yeah, I'm actually surprised because a moment ago, I was like, Serral's looking real, like it's looking dangerous for him, you know?
Yeah. And now he's just in much better control. A couple of good cleanups. 11 drones just went down. So some damage being done somewhere on the map. A Widow Mine drop or so as this last one goes off to make it 12 in total. And yeah, just Widow Mines here, there, and everywhere, just continuously dealing damage. These medevacs are back as the Lingbane will be there to clean it up, but it's just keeping Serral back, and Serral's not had a run by or anything across the map for a long time as that tank reaches that gas. That is disgusting.
I mean, these little positions that Maru finds with tanks and stuff, they're really, really damn cute. So he's up to 8 barracks now, producing 4 Marauders at a time, 8 Marines as well, starting up his 3 tier 3 upgrades. Yeah, this tank positioning, even though it's going to die, I think this was a nice little hole for him, just being a real nuisance for his opponent. But Serral's also tier 3. Adrenal Gland's on the way. Big Widow Mine.
Yeah, that was a really good Widow Mine. I was just going to see this time the Lingbane Harry's going to go for it. You need to get rid of those Widow Mines. Nothing hit them for ages. And the Overseer kind of dragged the Widow Mine on top of more Lings. This is going to be Serral pushing Maru back. It just felt like that could have been cleaner. Maru has a bank. Serral does not. At least this pushback will give Serral time to survive up to Adrenal Gland and some of those other upgrades.
Yeah, it feels like Maru's got a better read of this game, right? Like, even though he is transitioning into the Ghost Academy and stuff, he went way harder on the aggression, way harder on the bio. And this is what I mean. It's so nice to see a series between these two because you can really see how they're learning each other. And Maru, maybe if this was the previous game, like it didn't happen, maybe he'd have gone into turtle mode again and given Serral time to breathe. But here, he's really not going for that.
Absolutely not, as our Lingbane escapes away off to the side. And we have got Serral looking to come around from the top side of this as well. Let's see what these Widow Mines can do. First couple were pretty darn good. Overseer is now going to take the rest of them towards the bio units, but Serral already lost too much. We will drop a Parasite Bomb. Maru splits instantly, so only 1 medevac to be lost from that spell casting. And Serral doesn't quite have the units right now to really fight this off. Let's see, it is still going to be on creep, and the Widow Mines aren't burrowed up this time, but he just doesn't have the firepower.
No, he doesn't. And behind this, Maru's not slowing down, man. Like, he's making command centers, extra orbitals as well. I don't even know what those tech labs and reactors are for, but he's already on 8 barracks. Maybe it's even more barracks at this point.
Yeah, we're going to see a Parasite Bomb go down again, but Serral is just trying to buy a little bit of time and take smaller fights. Again, those Widow Mines are ready to go, and it just feels like the mines are never really having bad connections, right? This time they didn't do amazing, but they're surviving, and if they're alive, that's amazing too. So Serral needs to get back on top of that. We lose some creep spread in the center of the map as well, and all of this time he's just on the 5 bases. Well, so is Maru, so equal base count. Fantastic news for the Terran.
How many barracks is Maru on here, Niall? Okay, we're up to 11 barracks. So 87 SCVs, many orbitals, PFs here, there, and everywhere. Like, he is going full bomber-esque here, just parading across the map. 5 ghosts at a time now. This transition perfectly timed, by the way, because now lurkers are out. Now you do need them.
This is going to be an interesting fight, as initially, the Widow Mines actually do hit some bio there. Initially, that looked like a good surround, but then the medevac showed up. I was like, oh, maybe not. Pushing around the bottom right corner as well, just a few units over here. And Serral is about to get the Nidus up. If he could get some aggression across the map, lurkers into the base, that's absolutely one way he could strike and deal a lot of damage for his opponent.
Absolutely. These lurkers are a little bit naked here, and they deal a lot of damage, but this is... Oh.
That was a good fight for Serral.
Yeah, that was really good, actually.
Widow Mine's okay. It's not super deadly, but definitely makes up for it a bit. There goes the Nidus. I mean, Maru was already moving units into position. He is just so well prepared. He knows what Serral wants to try and do, and he will refuse to let these Niduses do damage. At least for now. He was very good about it in that first game as well. But of course, Serral has to kind of look at this and say, well, I've got to try something, right?
Certainly. It's great. Like, the fact that Serral's held on in the way that he has done, and now he's getting to an army comp that he's very comfortable with. He's up to 3 armor now as well. This could be a good catch from him as well. Maru kind of on creep a little bit here, and really scary bailing detonations, but the Widow Mines are doing a real damn good job.
I thought Serral was going to go more for that left side cluster of ghosts,
yeah.
And they survived, and I thought that was the money connection, and he absolutely had the Banes to take them down. So maybe that was a little bit of a missed opportunity right there for Serral. Still an okay catch, but maybe just could have been that much better in a game where Serral trading 4,000 resources lost worse, but of course Maru's been mining so much as well. His income this game has been fantastic. He's been leading for parts of it. He has just been able to kind of look at this and say, well, yeah, my economy is great. I've got more workers. I've got the base count to use those workers, and we'll continue to expand and expand as Maru.
Yeah, like his sensor towers, like he covers his whole upper half of the map, basically. Nidus does go down. Cheeky lurker over here is spotted and will be dealt with, so Maru can continue to expand. Or If Serral keeps up with this, though, it's going to be really tricky for Maru to deal with.
I think that Nidus is actually going to get up in the main base, which means you can camp production. There's just obviously a lot of chokes here that Lurkers can do very well with, so that's going to be dangerous. Already you can see a Liberator showing up to start dealing with this, but yeah, this is going to be a little bit problematic as your production will take some shots, a few SCVs, a depot, and so on. Here come the Ghosts to start cleaning this up, but Serral will be able to strike elsewhere at the same time. This is a massive portion of Maru's army that's completely out of position now for this left side attack.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And this is what Serral wanted. A bit of a tit for tat going on. Bit of damage in the main base, although not too much. But that trade of Lurkers in the main base, like,
it's expensive.
Yeah, and it was for one base, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe two over here. That'd be more worth it. So not just one thing happening, though, Serral. Like, he's attacking multiple locations here. Just trying to slow down Maru a little bit. But Maru actually handled that all pretty damn well.
Yeah, I really felt like the Banelings could have got the SCVs in the last moment. They turned around, hit the orbital as well, and maybe that could have just been a bit better. Trying to get some more SCV damage done here, but Maru's units showing up, and those Lings just have to evacuate again. Serral is on the run, out of money. Just doesn't have a maxed out army at the moment, and is just struggling to stay in this game, struggling to trade well enough and mine enough.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of staying close to max, but yeah, the bank's gone, and he's just looking straight. That is so many Ghosts all in the same spot. Widowmine was juicy. Oh my goodness, how many Banelings just blew up?
A lot of them. They went up for their Widowmine before it could blow up again. These Ghosts are going to be stuck in a corner a little bit. A lot of Ghosts getting caught. I mean, that's a catch for Serral, but it costs him pretty much all of his Banelings. We will get rid of one more Ghost on the top side with the last few Hydras. I mean, that's great, and there's Lings over here as well, so this base isn't mine. You're taking down a little bit of production. Serral's turn to make this game a little bit crazy. I love getting rid of the sensor tower because obviously that's something which has been very annoying. Just Maru being able to see every possible attack happening on the map.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now the one sensor tower he does have, it's kind of redundant actually.
Yeah.
By the time you attack one of the bases, it's not really going to reveal it properly. But yeah, okay. Infestors on the map. That's something that's really cool actually. I haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah, just a couple burrowed infestors, and if they can pop up at the right time, catch a good fungal, it can be game-changing. There's a few Banes there morphing too far forward. I'm just worried for what Serral actually really has left. He's got those couple infestors, couple Vipers, but only 10 Banes. He gets a massive fungal growth. Can he continue on from that? He gets a second fungal. The Ghosts are surrounded. They are starting to get into medevacs, but they're blowing up to the parasitic bombs. So many medevacs going down, and Maru loses so much.
Holy crap. Okay.
Wow.
It doesn't even properly say how many Ghosts died, I feel.
Yeah, because they're in the medevacs and so on.
Yeah, and I think also like friendly fire damage from his own Widowmines doing stuff, because that was a lot. Like, I don't know what the value was exactly, but geez Louise.
One Ghost left on the map, and I know he's building 6 more, but that's massive, because now you lose one of your main ways to deal with the Lurkers. That's a monumental swing in Serral's favor, because now you've got bases all up over the place. I mean, this is fantastic. This is game-changing for Serral. I feel like his position is suddenly so much stronger.
Absolutely. That's what he needed, man. Like, that gives him a bit of room to just breathe a little bit. The army massively wounded for Maru. And Serral, look at him. Now he's the one that's maybe going to be able to accumulate a bit of a better bank here. But you got to remember, Maru's economy has been great this whole game. And honestly, it's still looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, his economy is really felt untouched, and even when he loses a base or a few SCVs, it's never like a game-ending amount because he's got so many CCs he can replace so easily. And that's the frustrating part from Serral. It's like you do some damage and then it just doesn't work out. I'm not sure about this for Maru. That's a lot of units for like a base cancel. A little bit committed, but gets the Nidus in the main base, trying to make sure once again that Serral does not succeed with the Nidus networks. As Serral's supply blocked here has got 6 overlords on the way here, 20 minutes into hardwire.
Bit of a Miko, overproducing the overlords all at once kind of thing. But no, I think this kind of situation, getting out the Vikings, more Widowmines, more Ghosts as well, this is where they're both really going to find out exactly what their opponent's comp is and really try and counter it. Ghosts are obviously great against the Lurkers, but the Ghosts aren't the best against all the rest of the Zerg army. So Maru really has to be fine about that. And these Lurkers that continuously come in here over to the left side, very annoying.
Yeah. Feels like the Lurkers definitely just gained so much control recently. Before, it didn't feel like they were able to get anywhere easily. Look at Serral's bank as well, definitely kind of coming back in his favor as he sets up some Lurkers on the right-hand side, and he's going to be able to get rid of a refinery or so and just put Maru under some pressure if these Ghosts get too involved. I mean, you can see the Hydra's waiting to go. You're going to get a little bit of Viper support there as well. First of the Widowmines getting set off, and there's a few Marines on the left. Maru just can't find the commitment he's looking for. Not yet, at least. He obviously has time to set up something slightly different if he wants it. Now Serral looking to leap on the left side. He's going to bring the Lurkers towards this fight as well, but he doesn't want to go in off creep. Another Parasitic Bomb. They've been great this game.
They really have. He's been using them really well as well, just being a proper nuisance. Gets out of here, does Serral, feeling that maybe he might have outstayed his welcome. And he's doing a good job of just denying mining here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, his Lurkers have been all around the map. He's been on top of mineral lines. It's just the little things that add up over time, right? He's going to start killing a bunch of SCVs here, just from one Lurker here, one Lurker there. It forces scans, it forces worker pulls. It's just annoying. And it's a completely different game to 5 minutes ago where Maru was everywhere putting on the pressure because Serral is now not giving Maru the time to send units across the map and to be annoying. Run by here. This base has been in trouble ever since the Sensor Tower went down over this side.
Yeah, it feels whenever Maru tries to slow down the game a little bit, all of a sudden, boom, Serral's just like, no, you don't. We're going to play at my pace. And that's exactly what's happening here. But maybe, oh my goodness, they're just out of that scam range, by the way.
They are playing a dangerous game as obviously he wants to come in for a flank or so and get a massive fungal off ahead of a fight. This is a split up section of the army here. He's waiting for something big. It's just difficult to take it because, I mean, it's kind of a weird place to fight for the Zerg. Like, where do you actually bring your units in from? Some reasonable questions. That Infestor probably has to find a different move a little bit further down the line. As the Lurker here just going to be, again, annoying to 9 refineries. A lot of Lurkers going to get up over here now, so going to make a way towards that plantry. And the army on the right side coming in to fight a little bit as well. Parasitic Bombs do drop. A few Banelings already rolling through. But it looks as though Maru is able to come out of this without losing too much overall. That Infestor still alive and is still ready to drop a fungal if necessary as the Lurkers go running.
You know what's also good about the fungal? It's not just like the fact that you're dealing damage and slowing down the army. It stops all the ghosts from being able to snipe anything whatsoever. Wow, turret going up right next to that Infestor.
Time to get out of there. They're running out of space and where they can be because there's just turrets here and turrets there. Maru's realizing it's a potential problem. So, yeah, this Infestor needs to get moving, but I don't think Serral is paying too much attention there. Like, right now, turret comes up and whoop, there you are. 2 Infestors. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what are you doing over here, mate? I wonder when both of them are going to notice that, actually. Okay. Maru deciding now's his chance, his opportunity to strike back a little bit. And these some very healthy bases on the far right side of the map here for Serral.
Yeah, so he's going to lose one right away. He's going to come in and maybe be able to flank this getaway, but the medevac's load up, so that's going to be the plan for Maru to get out without taking too much damage. But the Widowmine's behind a little bit of a choke here. I'm not too sure about running into this. Let's see what the Lurkers can do. They can get rid of a couple mines right away, and obviously the Lurkers taking a mine shot is not as bad. We do move our way around this right-hand side. I mean, it gets awkward here because you do run out of space to split as the fungal comes in the end as well. The ghosts get hit, so there's the lack of sniping for a while. As Serral will take down this base, he's got a few Lurkers left over. He does unburrow. He starts to run, preserve some of these units as he backs away. Maru is running out of gas on some of these trades. He only has 500 in the bank. Oh.
Hey, what a crazy situation for them both to be in this game. Like, they're really, really brutalizing each other. I think one weakness of Maru's... I mean, the fungals have been really cool, by the way, but it just feels like these raw, brutal armies of just a lot of Zerg units just keep tearing Maru apart because there's not much splash in that army, Wardy.
No, there is really not, as you're just going to be seeing. I mean, these units running up here, but these Lings are like, yep, we'll just grab you, make sure you go down. We'll not take the engagement into the Ghosts, of course. I think that's very smart, as we are just sniping drones now. Maru's like, I've got so much energy, I've got to use it for something. Do we have an answer to these Liberators? It feels as though right now, immediately we do not. So there's base in trouble, as Maru is going to see Serral double expanding to the right side as well. So that's something else to keep in mind, as Serral sees Maru also retaking that base as he gives up the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, they're really wounding each other economically here. But Maru, re-establishing middle control, although Serral wants to stop that by the looks of it. Both of his Vipers falling, though, to good snipes by Maru. Maybe getting a little bit too eager there with Serral, but when you see all these sensor towers appearing on the map from your opponent, you kind of want to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, he just lost those 2 Vipers. He's only lost 4 all game. You think about how long the Vipers have been in the game for. He's been so good at preserving them. So for this game, a rare mistake for Serral to lose out on them. Now he's got a while where Vipers are just not up on the field. He's missing a lot of the spellcast, and that's made this army great previously. And now he's actually going to end up taking a fight here as well. He gets rid of the mines before they fire, but there's so many snipes Surely we can't keep fighting here as the ghosts are going to come through, sniping their way forward. Serral losing a lot, and it does just feel like missing that spellcasting completely takes away his potential to fight this.
Yeah, and I mean, he was hoping to get way more economic damage done here with these two lurkers and stuff, but it really feels like that fight was absolutely a game changer for Maru, because again, I'm seeing a little bit of the frustration on Serral's face as these moments are going by, but what's the resources lost tab so far at this game? Let's have a look. Whoa, I mean, Maru trading a lot better. That's
why it's important for Serral to get these other bases up and running, but Maru's, I mean, he's been mining the top left side pretty comfortably, right? And then Serral can't mine the far left. He's just trying to get the top right, or the far right up again. I actually think Serral's just hit a point where his economy's stumbling a little bit, and he's just really unable to rebuild off of what was so many losses the last time around.
Yeah, like Maru definitely slowed down the game, but he also still wanted to be aggressive, and I feel that's the big difference this game to the last one. Like, he was still trying to push his opponent, wasn't getting caught on his side of the map, and Serral, he's been at a bit of a deficit. Ever since denying that hellbat push early on, I thought he was in all right shape, but yeah, Maru playing exquisite this game.
Yep, playing very, very well as the command centers continue up. A few Hydras coming through, an Overseer on the way, and a couple of Marauders going to go pick their way through this hatchery on the right side. So that will go down. A few more drones over here in trouble. Maru has swung this game back into his favor, it seems. Now there are some Infestors and Vipers back up, and I do feel like the spellcasting has been one of the best parts of the game from Serral, so maybe that's what he can use now, but he has to start making something happen, because at the moment, he's running out of bases, and Maru has traded way better through the course of the game.
Yeah, you know, Hardwire Wardy, I didn't look at this map and be like, oh yeah, you can split that map, but Maru's absolutely splitting it, man. Like, sensor towers absolutely everywhere. I don't know how many bases he's on right now, maybe like 7 or something, but yeah, he's looking absolutely phenomenal here. He's making it look very, very well thought out how he handles this map and his positioning.
Serral has sent like 3 Overseers in the exact same range that may have died to those 2 turrets, like what we just saw. It was something that Serral's not quite keeping track of as well as he has kept track of other things. Nidusing side to side, looking to just try and get bases up, try and transfer units around. Mara's the one with the bank here. Serral needs a massive fight to go in his favor. He has a good army supply. He's got a lot of lurkers, so it is possible, but he needs a big fight, and he basically needs to go straight across and start killing bases straight after that fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of Maru that's just pinned on those ghosts dealing with the lurkers. I mean, the Liberators do a damn good job as well. Oh, a lot of lurkers marching up that ramp there.
Yeah, they just go for it. Serral is saying absolutely not. Can't possibly let you have this base no matter what he is. He's actually going to chase further forward. He will lose a lurker. Gets burrowed up and will be able to take down the group of units on that right side, actually. Gets the sensor tower too, so a little annoying as we continue to fight over this position. But now it's time to get out of there because those ghosts are going to start sniping. And, well, the lurkers are dealing some damage back. And for the moment they hold their own, the Infestors are coming. You know that is dangerous, right? Fungal and all those ghosts. He just doesn't have an army to collapse on the ghosts once they're fungaled.
No, he absolutely doesn't. And these lurkers, they're creeping forward. He's almost baiting Maru to get over here with those ghosts again, right? Like, I really feel he's trying to, at least.
Yeah, the ghosts are having none of it, though. They're just going to the far right-hand side, so they're going to look to play elsewhere. As these lurkers are not quite able to finish the base yet. Serral's long-distance mining, yeah, the ghosts are just going to show up and say, yeah, we're just going to kill you off over here. It's kind of a brave play, because if you lose all these ghosts, you're in trouble, but he doesn't believe that Serral has the units over here, and that's just a base going down to ghost auto attacks.
Yeah, Serral's economy is looking trash, man. Like, look how slow his minerals are going up here.
Yeah,
like,
it's bad.
I don't know how many workers he has on minerals, actually. It's going to be like 10 or something, I swear.
Yeah, not a lot, because he just doesn't have the minerals patches to mine. And what he does, it's long distancing. So he's got these few, and then what? Long distancing?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he's got.
Really terrible situation for Serral. Like, he's real struggling. Can't afford to lose any more units at this point in time. Income advantage, though. Maybe Maru's mining out a little bit too here. But doesn't feel like it. He's just established that base on the right and the far left as well, looking sort of safe here.
Here we go with a little bit of a fight breaking out. Going to parasitic bomb into the medevacs again. We do see the baneling's burrowed with the lurkers, so he burrowed everything rather than just the lurkers. A massive fungal, but there's no continuation, right? And I mean, that was great and all, but it just doesn't feel like enough. We're going to abduct in these Liberators, and then what? We don't even have a good way to kill them. So the Liberators just fly away after being abducted in. In fact, they're just going to siege back up.
I love that they siege on top of each other with the parasitic bomb.
That wasn't so great.
Yeah, that was a bit rough. But yeah, these lurkers definitely doing a lot of work still. I can just hear Gabe right now like, oh, see, Told you lurkers are pretty damn good.
These 3 infestors, they are the one thing that Serral is really pinning a lot of his hopes on, it feels like. But again, it's not just the infestors. You need to be able to follow up as well. This is going to be it. Get forward right now. Stop these ghosts getting away. The EMP comes down. There's no more fungals. And these few lurkers, they're just not going to get enough done. GG from Serral on the last attempt as Maru makes it happen. Another long game going the distance between Serral and Maru. And we are going to end up on a game 3.
This is what you hope for.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, these games, they've just been late game games. They both played really well. Both been adding in new different twists and turns to it as well. I really like the infestors though.
Yes, like, they're amazing, right?
Yeah, like, you know when burrowed infestors came into play and they could cast fungal growth from the underground, which, by the way, was one of the most silly things I've ever had happen. It's just like I'm walking around, just I'm dead. Okay. But this was actually a really good touch from Serral because he was struggling. He was really struggling. But a few of those little fungals there, surprise attacks, also quite decent for the scouting, definitely helped him out. But yeah, Maru just with a few little extra touches there, totally forgoing tanks, by the way, to deal with those mass onslaughts. And it actually worked out for the most part, I feel.
Yeah, no, it really did. There was a point in this game where I feel like Maru was really controlling for a long time. But then Serral had that moment where he turned it around, but Maru just hunkered down, right? He stopped taking damage. I still feel like this was an opportunity to get those ghosts on the left side a little bit more rather than focused on the right, but I mean, there's so many little fights here. And this as well, I really thought he was going to get all these SCVs, and he's like, I'll just get the orbital. I was like, does it really matter? Probably not, right? But it's the little things that maybe could go a bit different, because all of a sudden you're killing an orbital. Well, that comes back online so quickly. This fight was amazing. This is what swung the game initially. Yeah,
that really kept Serral in it, because up until that point, like, that went from Maru being really ahead to, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this killing moments or the dying moments for Serral here. Nice attempt there. But yeah, I mean, it was all doom and gloom. He was just getting suffocated by Maru. Like, it was a true style of suffocation there. Just had squads on the left, the right, the high-tech army in the middle, kind of bouncing right from either side. Really cool play overall. And what will the third map be, Wardy?
It's going to be 2,000 atmospheres, so we've got a fun macro one still coming up ahead of us as we get into the third map of Serral Maru in just a few short moments. It's yeah, I mean, what a map to end it on. Definitely one that can go back and forth, be kind of very exciting. It'll be fun to see what happens.
Yeah, funny that didn't Serral say that he really liked, or I thought he said he liked Berlingrad in one of these little intro things, maybe not against Terran as much.
Yeah, I don't think it's for ZVP. I think it's pretty good. I think for ZVT it's a little bit Terran favored. So maybe like best of 5 kind of territory, but best of 3, there's better ones.
Yeah, definitely. I was a bit surprised, with the 2-1-1 that Maru did the first game on Curious Minds. I was a bit surprised they didn't do more of the tank stuff early on with this 2-1-1. Because I feel it's a really good map for it.
Yeah, I actually thought it was absolutely going to be like aggression into tank push after tank push. We kick it off in the bottom left-hand side. Deciding map, how Blue Terran from Team NV is Maru.
And spawning over in the top right, enters Serral. I'm almost expecting Serral to go for a 16 pool here, just because he could be thinking, after a game like that, but not going to go for it. No game in the series did Serral go for a pool first, which isn't weird, but he has done it before where he feels very comfortable against Terrans, and he usually does it exactly when they 2-Rex as well, and Maru's one of the most famous for it. CC first, Wardy.
Well, different from Maru, changing it up already. The CC first has had some fun variations from it as well, and Maru was even one of the players who popularized kind of CC first 2-1-1s as well, right, or 3-Racks, and just getting very aggressive off a very quick, strong economy, so yeah, already kind of questioning what Maru might get up to next, and I find that kind of fun, so we'll see where we get up to. For now, Racks, then the gas, no surprises there, and Serral Hatch Gas pulling it up to get us started on 2,000 atmospheres.
I like it when you see Maru lift up this little mouse towel thing. It reminds me that he plays with a towel literally on his mouse, and he still micros as well as he does. Wardy, I forget how to hold a mouse even without a towel on it. All the time, literally all the time. I'm kind of wondering, because CC first is really good against the 16 pool kind of thing. Like, the Zerg just tends to be quite behind. Yeah. I wonder if he was thinking that his opponent was going to do that, thinking he was going to 2-Racks, like proxy 2-Racks.
Yeah, no, it's a real possibility, right? And even if not, it puts you in a pretty great position. There are very few things that, really stop you going CC first. Like, if you do it way too predictably, okay, like, these fast roaches are going to be pretty bad to deal with, but I mean, this scenario, he's going to be completely fine with it as well. Doesn't matter that Serral maybe didn't 16 pool or whatever. Now Serral will take the forward third hatchery here, and Maru already on his way to a reactor, second barracks finishing, well on our way to this 2-1-1.
Yeah, it's always annoying because Zerg, if you open up hatch first, you always have to make the 4 Zerglings. I know some people might be like, oh, why do you make the Zerglings? Nothing's coming. Well, you have to. Like, those Zerglings have to be halfway in production kind of thing by the time the Reaper arrives, or, you know, otherwise you're just going to be taking way too much damage. So you have to. He's going to be utilizing these Zerglings now just to scout around a little bit after a Reaper hasn't turned up. But he's already going to know something is a little amiss here, and we'll get the confirmation that's a very quick CC.
Yep, seeing that already morphed into an orbital, Serral will know the situation. He obviously got to pick up the ramp there as well, so he gets to see that is double racks. Tech Lab whirring away, and Serral probably a bit kind of reminiscent of what happened back in that first game.
Yeah, definitely. Cheekier situation, though, obviously, for Maru. Didn't even get Reaper, so that's big. Gets the CC first, so economically he's better. A lot better, actually. I wonder, given that this map was in the previous pool as well, it's a bit more played out, right? Like, people know it better. I wonder if he's got anything super cutesy planned here.
Yeah, no, it's very possible, right? Because it is just kind of, you're very aware of this map. You know exactly how it plays. You've played on it a lot. Definitely possible. But at the same time, maybe it's also one of those situations where it's like, how many more things can you do that Serral hasn't seen before?
That's true. I'm really feeling these tanks, Wardy. Like, the way that he utilizes them, even on Hardwire there, that random tank on the far left picking off the extractors.
It was great.
Yeah, and you have to deal with it. Like, you have to.
And you know what I love? Maru was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna not so sure about these new maps, so I'm gonna see how the other Terrans are playing. And he comes up with the most creative Terran stuff we've seen on them so far.
Yeah, Maru, I don't buy you on that one.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't, because you're the guy I look to. Oh, not doing the switch?
He wants to fake it, right? Then he actually is gonna switch.
I think so. Yeah, you're totally right here. So right now, trying to make Serral think that he's going for a bit of a Hellbat push here, but he's not. He's too cheeky.
Yeah, just Serral just going to be getting his Baneland nest up anyway. It was already on the way, right? So he was already being safe. As a third CC goes down from Maru in the main, so he can float straight down to that low ground pretty much straight afterwards. And Combat Shield coming up is our first Widow Mine coming through alongside these first few Medivacs. I mean, with this CC first, you have a lot of Marines ready to go. So you're going to have a lot of power right away. And in a way, that's kind of why you need this Bane Nest, because if you don't, like, Ling Queen gets overwhelmed very quickly against this timing.
It certainly does, It's going to be a very similar follow-up to Game 1 with the Widow Mine afterwards, along with the Marines. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to whip out 2 more Medivacs, not just 1, but Serral having very good vision across the center of the map, by the way. Like, he wouldn't have missed anything coming out of Maru's base here, and even getting a Spine Crawler just for safety, because in Serral's head, if you go up against, like, a 2-on-1, as long as you don't take too much damage, you technically should be ahead.
Yep, absolutely. As we're going to go jumping up into the main base, though, Serral has units in position. He knows Maru's tricks. He isn't going to fall for it at all. He's absolutely fine to just shut that down, push it back. As an armory comes through in this Medivac, is going to start heading across the map here from Maru as well. So another Medivac coming through as our Marines will scan, and this creep spread will start to take some hits. So a little bit of creep going down already, and obviously just now happy to take away some of Serral's map control and lean into the future.
This little squad is scary, though. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Maybe 22 Marines and a Widow Mine. Like, that's a lot of damage and quite a lot of healing, too. Like, Serral has to respect this, and you start to feel a little bit claustrophobic when all this creep spread's getting cleared up as well.
Yep, you can't really see anything. You don't know where this army's coming from next. As we do move up this ramp, Banelings are around. You just don't really want to commit into this fight because you know they're just going to get targeted down. So just rather keep those alive for Bane speed unless it is at all costs. You must use them. Hydroden coming down as well for Serral as we see where he's going to take this. His Overseer here is going to go down too. Was not moving that manually at all. So that's a loss, as otherwise Maru's still pressing up. I mean, he's getting rid of so much creep with all of this.
He certainly is. I've noticed this. I was saying this about Cure as well. Like, so much of their energy, their orbital energy, it's not used for just mules. Like, I'd say like a good 3-to-1 ratio of scans instead of mules kind of thing at this stage of the game. And it makes total sense, because then your Zerg opponent doesn't feel safe at all. Oh, nice snipe on that Overseer there. Oh, he got a bit forward there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That second Overseer showing up as well, so the Widow Mine still got targeted down. That was a nice little combination of plays from both there. Just having the second Overseer, Maru trying to play around the fact that he got rid of the first one. He is going to start setting Widowmine drops up now that Drilling Claws is done. So that's something you've got to be on top of as Serral. You can't possibly let that get out of reach or get out of control, because that's how you start losing games very quickly. Widowmine is looking to get into the corners here, and Serral has no choice but to back away and to minimize the damage he's taking. The Lings taking a couple of shots. This Medevac's about to go down, though. He does get the mines out. Serral dealing with this well, though. He's going to kill one more mine here. And that other Widow mine forgot to burrow, and it is dead. So really not that bad. And the Banes get 4 SCVs, and 2 of them get to run away.
I actually don't know how Maru...
Oh, no!
Oh, I was about to say, I don't know how Maru does this, because even when other players aren't doing things like Widow mine dropping in 2 places at once, they still lose all their SCVs to a Baneling run by, whereas he was actually quick enough to deal with that as well. But good bit of tit for tat on both sides.
Yeah, fun back and forth so far. Definitely like it for Serral cleaning up a couple of those drops just very effectively. That Medevac that didn't get to unload at all. I mean, that's exactly what you want. The more you minimize the damage here, the better of a position you're putting yourself into.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's kind of survived the scary stage of Serral, because now he's getting Hydras onto the field as well. They'll be able to deal with the Widowmine stuff quite a bit better as well. These Widowmines, juicy hit.
Yep, second one on the Overseer at least, so 5 drones, the Medevac still around there as well. That might get cleaned up further down the line. There are 10 Hydras taken to the stage as well, so that Hydra count increasing. As we do just see more of these drops of Maru setting up and trying to figure out where they want to go. Serral already has another run by somewhat set up. There's that Medevac going down, as we previously mentioned. Infestation Pit coming through with the 2-2 upgrades. Obviously, Maru on an upgrade lead. Not sure if he's going to have enough freedom to really make much of that, though.
Yeah, it's not much of a window. He is up to 8 barracks already. We can't forget that, which... You know, that means he can pump out a lot of bio very, very quickly. But Serral's he's just done a good job. Because even though we talked about how much Maru was suffocating him with the creep and stuff, it's still pretty damn good. It's getting to halfway across the map now, and he's fighting for map control as well, constantly spreading creep, and yeah, very nicely played by the Finn.
Yeah, absolutely. Medevac loads up a few of those Widow mines. Another one burrowing up just out the front as well. Our Lingbane Hydra Force, just out of reach of it, is going to get it to set off, and obviously that can be a cleanup. Now here comes a drop to the top side. Some Lings already here. These Medevacs are going to go diving even deeper. There are no units in the natural expansions. Serral, well, he is setting up onto this attack still, but now he's going to have to deal with this somewhat properly. He's taking damage from the Widow mines and just a combination of attacks from Maru. 9 drones, a few units having to be used. He's not quite chased down those Widow mines yet. And Maru's still trying to find a little bit more as that slow HP Medevac is the one to drop back in.
Maru's playing fast, but also crazy. Like, normally when you're playing this kind of way, like a bit risky, a bit gambly, it's usually because you feel you need to. Like, we see that he doesn't need to, but maybe just fearing the fact that he hasn't done enough to Serral to really slow him down. Oish.
I wouldn't mind really reached for that connection, as he's having trouble getting these couple Medevacs anywhere else now, and Serral definitely seems to have those well under control. He's going to continue to chase around wherever they might drop next. And he's been pretty persistent on holding his watchtower, so he really wants to maybe try and make something from this position, or at least just stop a large army from coming through. The Medevac's just flying into a spawn a queen. That ain't so pretty, and Maru losing a few units.
That was a Benny F2 right there, I do believe. Okay, more CCs coming down for Maru. He's going for the late game, and yet again, but that's mainly just because Serral just won't die. And here, a little bit of a weird engagement. Serral hold positioning, just making sure that he doesn't blow up to any of these Widow mines. Hive almost finishing as well, but 3-3 on the way for Maru.
Yeah, obviously Serral just wants to slowly make his way into those lurkers as these Medevacs have to get out of there once again, lifting up and evacuating. With Hive done, obviously a couple of Vipers would be really nice here, something to abduct those Medevacs back a little bit, or some parasitic bombs. Obviously they have other uses as well. That's a good Widow mine, at least getting a lot of Lings. And Serral, I don't think we're going up this little tiny ramp.
Certainly not. You know, like, even though I do think it is a really good skill. Like, the fact that, in fact, it's just good. The fact that we're not seeing these Banelings connect with any of these units properly, they're always getting picked up. That is such a nuisance for Serral, because he's never really been able to deal with either side, really, these little armies of Maru.
Additional Banes coming through, backing up a little bit. We're going to turn back around into this Bioforce. Banes crash in. Widowmine on the Overseer. Widowmine on the Overseer again. Maru getting destroyed in this little fight. Top left, there is this drop unloading, but the Queens can reach from there to some extent. Only one of them can. He's putting some damage out and is going to protect this base. That's the important thing to note. Like that little sequence of events from Serral, who is now getting into Lurkers, and Maru just doesn't really have the preparation that he's had in previous games for Lurkers.
No, he doesn't. Serral's been really good this game. I mean, he's still lost maybe like 20 drones throughout the game, but he just bounces back, man. He's like a real cockroach. Like, he just won't die or take damage, and now, Adrenal Gland's finishing, Viper's finishing. I don't know how many Lurkers he morphed, but...
10 or so.
Yeah, that's already a ridiculously scary number. Like, if their armies fight right now, like, Serral's army's just way better, man. Like, so, the things that Maru has to do right now is buy time, try and kill him in other ways, but...
Serral's just bum rushing him, man. He's just going to run straight up. He knows his army is very good, and even going up this ramp, it's not super pretty, but then the Bio army does kind of choke up, running towards it a little bit, I suppose. The Banes turn around into this as well, and they will start to connect. This wasn't quite it from Serral, but the scan runs out, and he will evacuate away once more. Again, just putting some pressure on. Now you can see that Maru wants to maybe come down the ramp and from the top left-hand side. Serral's got a lot more units in the top left corner. They're going to maybe be able to do something themselves. Looking like they're going to run for the 5th base while Maru is otherwise preoccupied.
You know, seismic spying wasn't done there for the Lurkers, so they actually didn't have the range for most of that fight. They don't have adaptive talents yet either, meaning they're a bit slower. Yep. But Serral's still putting on a lot of pressure, man. Like, this is kind of crazy, because the army that he has here doesn't seem big at all.
Some of these Lurker shots have been massive on these Marines and Marauders, though, and Maru's supply is dropping heavily. A few Lings come through, and this time, I mean, this base is in trouble. These SCVs are probably not getting out of here alive. I thought those Lurkers were going to burrow a little sooner to maybe cut off the SCV retreat, but 10 still going down, and Maru's losing a very important base for himself, just at a point where he needs to start rebuilding. It's not like he already has a bank ready to go. So Serral, he's not just taking a good trade, he's denying economy, and so Maru can't rebuild back off of this.
Yeah, and look at this. This time the Lurker harass coming in nice, and Maru, I think I see a little bit of a smile on his face appearing as I was like, wow, you finished, kid. Play pretty good, man. You play pretty damn good. But yeah, this is a great game from Serral. Great game from both of them, actually, because I mean, it takes two to tango when you see somebody play so well, but Serral really hasn't missed a beat in this game 3.
He really has not missed a beat, has he? He has just been on point throughout. These Banes are going to come rolling through. Marine Marauder being chased away. He just can't run away fast enough. Parasitic bombs are everywhere, and even the Hydras left over are chasing down this time around because they've just got the numbers to make this work. Into a Widow Minefield, well, that doesn't matter either. The Hydras are getting so many kills here. Maru's supply is gone. And Serral, this was the most convincing game of the 3, and it was really Serral dominant, right? He was just so good throughout.
Absolutely, and GG, Serral takes it 2-1, and it was a damn good series, man. Like,